Hey guys, what's up? This is LJS here, and today I'm back with a deck profile on a much long overdue deck profile on the Neonectar, Musketeer, Vera, and Ahsha build. So this build sort of focuses around Musketeers, and with the addition of Ahsha as a supporting grade 3. So this is not the G Neonectar deck, because I find that the Musketeer is still much more consistent compared to the G deck. Although the G deck, if you manage to pull it off, it can be very very powerful because they hit for huge numbers. But anyway, so this is the Musketeer build. I know it's been really late. GBT03 has already been released. GBT02 was long due, but I was busy. So anyways, I'm back here with Musketeer build, and this is one of my personal favorite decks. Musketeer is very fun. So yeah, let's get to it. So for starter, we run the Musketeer, Broccoli, Kira. So she is mainly in here because she's Musketeer. Her skill isn't really that relevant. Basically, she's a grade 3 searcher. So +1, put her in the soul, search the top 5 card of your deck for a grade 3. So useful if you are grade stuck. But Musketeer, for Musketeer, it's fine to be grade stuck 2 because even though you're grade stuck 2, your Musketeers can still do a lot of stuff and you can still hit. Basically, if you are stuck at grade 2, it's fine, you know, it's not a problem because number 1, you deny your opponent from striding, and number 2, as a Musketeer, grade 2, you can still hit for really good numbers. But anyways, yeah, so this is starter, run her, mainly because she's Musketeer and because Musketeers, for some of you who don't know, they're specialized in killing themselves and hopefully looking for a better version of themselves from the deck. So for grade 3s, I run 4 Vera and 4 Ahsha. So these are your grade 3s. So Vera is your Legion for Musketeer. So mainly she's used as a finisher, or sometimes if you ride her, she can be an early game pusher. So her first skill is when on the turn she legions, all your Musketeer units gain 3k. So that basically means that your rear guard columns gain 6k. If you have a full field, both your rear guard columns gain 6k, and the Vanguard column herself gains 9k, which is crazy. So it's very useful to push your opponent for game. So basically, every column is going to be at least 21k and above. Her second skill is once a turn, you can kill a Musketeer, search a deck for a top 5 card for a Musketeer, call it out. So basically, you know, if you need attackers, you can swap it out for attackers. If you need, like, for example, if your hand is pretty crappy, all you have is triggers, you can kill off your triggers and hopefully search for grade 1, grade 2 to push for numbers and stuff. So yeah, so she's very useful. Next is Ahsha. So Ahsha is a sort of supportive grade 3. So her main skill is her second skill. Basically, when you strike on her, you can +1, and if you do, you can choose one of your rear guards, clone them from your deck, and that unit gains 2k. So basically, she's sort of like your free +1. And if you combine her with another card in the deck, you can gain a lot of pluses. Her GB2 skill isn't really that useful in this deck because these Musketeers do not focus on same names. The G Neonectar, however, does. Anyways, her GBT02, her Generation Break 2 skill is all your rear guards will gain 5k if they have another card with the same name as them. So yeah, so this is her Generation Break 2 skill is more useful in a G Neonectar build because they focus on same names. Musketeers, however, do not really do it. But it's a nice bonus skill if you manage to pull it off. There's a grade 3s. Now for grade 2, we run 4 Musketeer Soul. So he is the Vera's mate. Ta-da! Legion. And his skill is pretty good as well. So on the turn that you Legion, when he attacks, you can put 3 normal units at the bottom of the deck. If you do, draw a card. So basically, swing, put 3 at the bottom of the deck, draw a card. It's free plus. So if you have him on the turn you Legion, you can actually draw quite a lot if you have enough cards in your drop zone. So if you get a stand trigger, restand him, attack, put 3 back, draw a card as well. And do take note, is normal units, so triggers do not count. So you can't put triggers back for his skill. Next we run 4 Augusto. Sorry, no, Kaivan. My bad, not Augusto. So Kaivan is one of your, what I call, recycler. So basically when you call him out on Vanguard or Rearguard Circle, +1, kill that Musketeer, search your deck, search for the top 4 cards of your deck for a Musketeer, call it to Rearguard Circle. So yeah, so basically he is another recycler, so recycle bad cards for good cards. or hopefully, you know, recycle bad cards for cards with on-call skill to activate their skill and do all kinds of Musketeer shenanigans, which I find really fun. Although, playing Musketeers is quite exhausting because you have to shuffle your deck a lot. Let me warn you, this deck, you require every single turn, you're probably going to shuffle your deck at least once. Next we have Sylvia. So she is a really good card, run 4, because she is one of the main plus engines in your deck. So she's a 7k, grade 2, but when you call her to Vanguard or Relegate Circle, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a Musketeer, call it. So basically, call, reveal top card. If it's a Musketeer, call it out again. So basically you get a free +1. And in this deck, everything is Musketeer except for Ahsha. So highly unlikely you will fail to find a Musketeer, and basically she's a very good +1. And let's say you have her on the field and you write Ahsha. If you strike on Ahsha, then you clone her, get another free +1. So basically you get 2 units for cost of counter +1. Unless of course her skill fail when you reveal an Ahsha. But that is really bad luck for you. Well, too bad if that happens. Wah, wah. For grade 1s we run for perfect guards, you don't have to run the G perfect guards because the G perfect guard is not a Musketeer, and you want to maximize Musketeer in this deck because almost every skill relies on having Musketeer in the name. So Musketeer, perfect guard. Next, round 4 of the Rebecca. So her skill is basically the same. She's basically your grade 1 recycler, same skill as Kaivan. On call, count +1, kill a Musketeer, search the top 4 card for the deck for a Musketeer, call it out. So yeah, that's it. Next, I run 3 Merca. So this is purely a tech choice. I think I prefer running Merca. So she's a 6k grade 1, but her skill is that when she boosts, if you have shuffled your deck for that turn, she's a 9k booster. So almost, as I mentioned earlier, almost every turn with Musketeers, you will be shuffling your deck. So almost every single turn, she will be a 9k booster. She's mainly there to make numbers with Sylvia, because Sylvia is a 7k base. So if you have 9k booster, it's 16k at least. So it still hits numbers against your Vanguard. So yeah, so I'll run 3. If you don't like running her, you can run Ruth. So she's your 10k attacker for Musketeer. So basically when she attacks, if you have a Musketeer Vanguard, she's 10k attacker. But I don't really run her because I run Ahsha as well. So sometimes Ahsha is your Vanguard, and she basically is a quite useless card. Next, I run 2 Susanna. So she is basically your unflipper for this deck. So when you call her, so +2, unflip 2 damage. So this deck can be quite counter blast heavy. So having an unflipper option is quite useful. And the thing is, if you Legion, you can put her back. And basically, since Musketeer cycles through the deck a lot, you will probably call her quite a few times in the game. So it's not only 2. Running only 2 is not a problem because your chances are you will eventually reach her, eventually call her and unflip damage. So next for triggers, I run 4 crit, which is the Gardenia Musketeer Elaine. So he has a skill. His skill is basically when he is called from a skill from Musketeer, we can unflip 2 damage. So almost everything here, basically any skill in the deck that allows him to be called, except for Ahsha, allows you to unflip 2 damage. So he's a very good unflipping engine. So that's why running 2 of her is also enough because he basically allows you to unflip a lot of damage as well. So run 4 of him. And for this deck, I run Stans because I think the Stan skill is pretty good. So I run 4 of these Musketeer Stan. Basically, his skill is that when he is called, his skill is act, counter +1 and put him at the bottom of the deck. And then look at the top 4 cards of the deck for a Musketeer, call it out, and then shuffle the deck. So basically, he's another recycler. So I run him because number 1 his stance, so basically it allows you to restand rear guards and hit for more numbers. But mainly because his skill is really good, because having more recyclers in his deck is useful because that's what Musketeers do. And then I run 4 normal Musketeer crits and 4 normal Musketeer heals. So everything in this deck is Musketeer except for Ahsha, because you want to maximize the ability of calling out units from all of their recycling skills. So for G units, firstly I run 3 of the Arborea. She is actually really good in this deck because currently a lot of the strides don't really work too well with Musketeers because they focus on same names, but she is useful. So basically when her skill is when the attack hits a Vanguard, you can clone one of your rear guards and it gains 2k for that turn. So basically if you clone Sylvia, you get even more pluses as well. So that's 3 of that. Then I only run 2, yes, only 2, Jingle Slough Dragon. So Jingle Slough Dragon is actually a very good card in G Neonectar, but for Musketeers it's a bit, his effectiveness is not, you can't really maximize his effectiveness. Basically his skill is that once a turn you can Persona Flip, that's why I run 2, Persona Flip, and basically every rear guard, okay, choose one of your rear guards, all your rear guards will gain 2k for the number of rear guards with that name. So for example, when you strike him, let's say you have a rear guard named Hana, okay, and use his skill. You choose Hana. So every of your rear guard will gain 2k for every Hana on your field. So let's say you have 3 Hanas on your field. All your units gains 2k, 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 so that's 6k. So yeah. So a lot of people are confused with Jingle Flower skill, but basically that's what it means. Choose one unit, and every rear guard will gain every unit will gain 2k for each copy of that unit you chose. So yeah, if that makes sense. Next, I run 2. Rain Elemental Madu, so he's from the Fighters collection. I run him because you run Legion in his deck. So his skill basically is, if you have a heart with 10k or lower original power, you can choose a grade 3 from your drop zone and put it in your hand. So when you strike, basically in Legion, right, in Legion, if you strike, both units become your heart. So Madu will then inherit Vera's name and Vera's power, but both units are still in your heart. So Madu's skill is that if you have a heart, one of them, any of them, with 10k power or less, you can then pick out a grade 3 from your drop zone. So basically, I ran Madu because he allows you to repeatedly use Vera's skill, because Vera's skill, as mentioned, is a very good power finisher, power pusher. So when she legions, your whole field gains a lot of power. So if you have a Vera in your drop zone, just strike, use his skill, get another Vera in your hand. Then next turn you can write Vera, Legion, and your whole field gains a lot of power. So yeah, mainly she's used. Madu is mainly used to repeat your Vera's skill. So I run 2 of them because yeah, 2 I think is quite useful. And lastly, I run 1 Primavera. So Primavera is one of those strike units where you probably only run 1 of. And I very rarely use a skill because the skill is quite expensive. So a skill is 100 plus 3, and choose 5 normal units from your drop zone and put them at the top of your deck in any order. And choose a card from your hand and discard it. So basically, 100 plus 3, put 5 normal units from your drop zone to your deck and discard a card. Choose 2 units and then clone 2 copies of each of them from the deck to the field. So basically, when you strike her, let's say for example you have a column like this. After they attacked, and after this other column attacks, use her skill when she attacks. 100 plus 3, put 5 back, discard a card. Let's say you choose these 2, you can then look for 2 copies of them from the deck, and then you can call them onto the field like that, and like that. So basically her skill is a very roundabout way of saying you can restand your whole field if you have enough copies of them in the deck. So that's why the first part of the skill where you put 5 units back to the deck, that one helps you in making sure that you have the same card names in the deck, so that you can restand your whole field. So yeah, so she is quite useful if the conditions are met and you have enough counterblast to be able to have an extra 2 full columns of attack. Quite useful as a finisher or as an early pusher, but I rarely use her because her skills are quite conditional, I'd say. But yeah, so this is my deck profile on the Vera Ahsha build. There is another Musketeer build called the Cecilia build, which is based on the new Cecilia Stride from the Fighters collection. I'll be doing that later on, I guess after I do my G Neonectar build, which I will talk about later on as well, because currently G Neonectar build is a bit, I would say somewhat not very consistent because they are lacking some cards, but I'll do it eventually. So yeah, so this has been my deck profile on Vera Ahsha. Hope you guys like it. If you do, thumbs up, and yeah, I'll see you guys next time.